one of the most famous fighters of his generation, fighting in one of the famous stadiums in the world. Can you imagine being AJ right now? A lot of pressure too, though. Don't get it twisted. You've got to perform in front of 96,000 of your closest friends.
Mamma mia, Rosie, a social media sensation turned boxer, has turned the sport on its ear. This is incredible. And what must be going through this 27-year-old's mind, like so many members of his generation, dealing with mental health issues?
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua has created intense debate among boxing experts. Most believe Joshua would control the fight because of his size, power, and high-level heavyweight experience. His Olympic background and knockout record give him a major edge. Jake Paul has improved with wins over MMA fighters and lower-tier boxers, but he has never faced a true world-class heavyweight. Analysts say Paul's only hope would be landing an early unexpected shot, while Joshua's discipline and jab would likely take over the fight. Many expect Joshua to score a clear stoppage within a few rounds. While the matchup is exciting for fans, professionals strongly see Joshua winning with ease.
A few times on it. I mean, there's nothing to report to you that it's close, or, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. Of course, AJ is exclusive to DAZN. We also work very closely with His Excellency, and although we have no contract with him, we're in talks for big fights next year, of course, Tyson Fury being one of them. So we'd definitely give him the respect of making sure that he was aware of the plan and, part of that plan as well. But at the moment, there's nothing major to report on that. Would we take the fight? Absolutely. I think Jake would be... my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signs to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, because AJ wouldn't mess around in there, so it would be huge, but nothing.
The fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is now set for December 19th, 2025 at the Casa Center in Miami, and will stream worldwide on Netflix. This is not an exhibition, it is a fully sanctioned professional heavyweight fight under Queensberry rules with 8 rounds of 3 minutes, each using 10-ounce gloves. To level the field, Joshua has agreed to a weight cap of 245 pounds, which is much lighter than his usual fighting weight. With both men putting their records at risk, this high-stakes matchup carries real consequences. A knockout or clear finish is absolutely possible.
It's the two-time unified heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua on Friday, December the 19th in Miami, Florida. It's going to be an 8-round fight with 3-minute rounds and 10-ounce gloves. It's Joshua's first fight since being knocked out by Daniel Dubois in September last year. Jake Paul won a unanimous decision against veteran Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. earlier this year. Well, Jake Paul said this: a professional heavyweight fight against an elite world champion in his prime. When I beat Anthony Joshua, every doubt disappears and no one can deny me the opportunity to fight for a world title. To all my haters, this is what you wanted. To the people of the United Kingdom.
The boxing community and fans have voiced strong reactions to Jake Paul's challenge to Anthony Joshua. Many believe Paul's goal of taking on an experienced heavyweight like Joshua is unrealistic and far too ambitious.
Right, the real deal respond to me as I tweeted my thoughts about delusion, which again, I think is more about what Jake said about Anthony Joshua and what he'll do to him. That was the more delusional aspect of this. Amanda Serrano said, "At Jake Paul is the truth." Funny, they say he's a fraud for wanting easy fights. Then he asked for the toughest fights ever, and they say he's nuts. Listen, he was scheduled to fight Canelo, Gervonta, and now he's calling out Joshua. Come on, who else is doing this? Oh crap, on second thought, he is out of his freaking mind, you're right. That was more of just Amanda backing her guy, you know what I'm saying, the co-founder of MVP.
But Dave Allen strongly warns that Anthony Joshua could damage his reputation by taking a fight with Jake Paul. He argues that if Paul even lands one clean punch, it could hurt everything Joshua has achieved in his career. Allen believes the matchup is driven more by entertainment than sport and doubts Joshua would want to risk that. He says many dedicated boxing fans would view the fight as a step down, and Joshua could lose respect in the boxing world by facing a YouTuber turned boxer like Paul.
Anthony Joshua cannot box Jake Paul. Horrific. He's dangerous for one, and two, if Jake Paul even lands a glove on him, it just diminishes everything that he's achieved. Jake Paul won't last 2 minutes for me. Never mind Anthony Joshua. It's ridiculous. It's a joke.
If AJ does say yes to going in against Jake Paul, does he harm his legacy?
I would lose a bit of respect for him. I think a lot of boxing people would as well, to be honest. Why would he box him? 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, one of the best heavyweights the last 20 years, held British boxing on his back. People might say he deserves to box Jake Paul. But why though? Why would he do it?
Did you lose respect for him when he fought in Ngannou? Did you lose respect for Fury when he fought in Ngannou?
Ngannou's a serious fighting man. World champion of mixed martial arts.
It's a worrying thing, potentially, the damage that AJ could do to Jake Paul.
He'll hurt him. Yeah, Jake Paul is a cruiserweight. You wouldn't put the Midlands area cruiserweight champion in with Anthony Joshua, so why would you put Jake Paul in there? Just because he's a superstar, whatever. I don't know what he does. What does he do? What is he?
A YouTuber.
It's just not worth it. He's got enough money as it is. Why risk all that for a few more quid? I don't like it.
Since the fight is expected to be a real sanctioned bout rather than an exhibition, Roy Jones Jr. has voiced doubts about Jake Paul ever becoming a true world champion. He says Paul has mostly avoided opponents who are genuinely battle-tested, and if he steps in with highly experienced boxers, they would likely beat him. Jones accepts that Paul might earn a title shot someday, but believes it would only come under very favorable conditions. He remains doubtful about Paul's chances of winning an actual championship.
No. Why? I think if they make him fight tough opponents, guys with experience, those guys will beat him. Now, if you catch somebody like myself at the end of their career, or somebody like Tyson, he caught at the end of their career, the chances are much higher. Because now it becomes more of a 50-50. You got a guy who's better than him, but the age factor. You understand me? And that's the only way to balance it for him to make it a 50-50 fight. Somebody who's on his level at the same age, those guys have too much experience. You understand me? So he's not going to beat those guys. But you find a guy who is past his prime, who has a mentality further than his, but past the prime.
Anthony Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn has dismissed Jake Paul's boxing ability, calling him an average fighter. Hearn has repeatedly questioned whether Paul can handle top-level competition, especially against someone like Joshua. He says that while Paul has made progress, he is still nowhere near the level required to face elite heavyweights.
Oh, good for the sport of boxing.
Yes, I know these guys. They're unbelievably bright. I mean, Logan, much brighter than Jake, in my opinion. But Jake's smart. Okay. Content, we have our ups and downs. Yeah. I respect Jake. I actually respect him in a boxing sense as well. But we fell out because I told him he was average. That's actually a compliment. Like, to be an average fighter, coming to this kid who's 26, 27, decides to go into boxing. We had a conversation where he's actually telling me he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. And I'm looking around for cameras. I'm thinking...
Eddie Hearn also pointed out Jake Paul's bold claims, including his statement that he could beat Canelo Alvarez. Hearn called this claim crazy and believes Paul is seriously overrating his abilities. While Paul has beaten former MMA fighters and lower-level boxers, the idea that he could challenge top-tier fighters like Canelo or Joshua is viewed as unrealistic by many experts.
Then it looks like Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul might be in discussions to fight. They were both on a call to each other earlier, and the viral video went round of Jake Paul saying he would knock out Anthony Joshua. If I'm being completely honest, I think Jake Paul would actually be lucky to make it out alive, and I'm actually being dead serious. I think Jake Paul would be lucky to make it out of the ring with Anthony Joshua alive. Tyron Woodley literally had Jake Paul on skates and had Jake Paul panicking for his life. Imagine what Anthony Joshua would do. Look at what Joshua did to the last non-boxer he fought in Francis Ngannou. That is not going to end well for Jake Paul. But look, let's be real here. This fight should never happen. It's an absolute disgrace to the sport if it does. And yeah, there's got to be a lot of backlash if this actually happens, because it's actually probably worse to the sport of boxing than what Fury in Ngannou was when it came around, or you know, yeah, or Mayweather-McGregor.
Simon Jordan, the former Crystal Palace owner and outspoken boxing commentator, has delivered a strong warning to Jake Paul about his proposed fight with Anthony Joshua. Jordan says the matchup disrespects the sport, arguing that Paul does not have the skill or legitimacy to face a heavyweight star like Joshua. He believes the fight hurts boxing's credibility and reflects what is wrong with the sport today. According to Jordan, Paul would be completely outmatched in such a bout. He says it is not only a dangerous move for Paul, but also something that could weaken Joshua's legacy by turning a serious fight into a spectacle.